So I chose North Korea and America's correctional system to compare and contrast only because I wanted to pick the worst of the worst countries that I could really think of compared to America and, kind of give some insight on the differences. So America started out with common law. You can see common law today in our society, but mostly it's statutory law, which is just written down laws. Common law was more memory of law, I guess. Like a judge would say, oh, this happened to that individual. So, if we wanted to look at the ideologies of America compared to North Korea, there's some similarities as America looks at our criminal as an enemy to the state, and North Korea looks at them the same exact way. However, where it gets complicated and crazy is America doesn't commit the entire family to jail or prisons or camps because of their family member being a criminal. However, North Korea does. It's almost like they feel like if they don't take the whole family into custody, then it's the criminal aspect of their minds or however they function and work is going to be passed down to future generations. So you need to pretty much eliminate the entire. So America has different custody functions ranging from the severity of the crime compared to the violence of the criminal as well. We offer minimum security to maximum security for rapes, murderers, people that are of just violent nature. There's camps, death row, and state and county systems as well. North Korea basically just offers a hard labor camp, and the severity of the crime does not matter. The prisoner is basically sentenced to a death sentence, no matter what, and there's no mercy shown for that individual. Intermediate sanctions are offered quite often, a lot of the time to avoid overcrowding of prisons and jails. Because the numbers are so much increasing all the time, we have to find a way to, rehabilitate the offender and punish them, but in a way that we can also stop the congestion of courts and jails. So what we do is we give the prisoner a second chance. Diversion is used. Home detention. So I was surprised when I did some research on the sentencing structures of North Korea compared to America because they do share some similarities. They both have a court system where the individual is tried in front of a judge in a court. America does offer right to counsel as well as North Korea, which kind of took me by surprise as well. A judge is also basically the main person that determines someone and their fate in North Korea. However, in America, we do have, right to a jury, or we can, pass that. We don't have to have a jury, but it is nice to have an option. We are also subject to appeals. So treatment in America compared to North Korea's correctional institutions is completely different. And that's why I put a crying baby next to North Korea, because there is no such thing as really treatment except hell. But in America, our 8th and our 14th Amendment allows for fair and competent treatment for inmates and civilians. And we can thank due process, the 14th Amendment, for this, and the 8th Amendment for subject to cruel and unusual punishment is not allowed. We allow counseling for these inmates, rehabilitation, and medical treatment. So honestly, one of the main reasons why I chose North Korea to compare to America is because of the treatment of males and females and how it differs so greatly, and then how America views women, or women view women in America just as oppressed, and we're nothing compared to men, and we don't get paid the same, and oh, I can't stand it. I'm over it. So I wanted to compare the worst country, in my opinion, to one of the best countries in the world. America treats its men and women equally. They both have rights to medical treatment, especially if a woman is pregnant. She is offered pregnant. So for special category offenders, I chose to not even mention North Korea because basically they don't care. They don't offer anything really for anyone. You could be mentally ill, you could be missing every single one of your limbs, and you're going to be treated the exact same. Um, However, in America, our inmates that are considered mentally ill or mentally challenged are properly diagnosed first, as well as given medications and treatments to help that person. They're also watched very closely, and they're also segregated in different parts of the prison just because they can't really get along or function within the general population of the prison. Um, The rights of the offender are not the same as a civilian would have, on the outside. However, our offenders are given rights. For due process, especially harassment and discrimination will not be tolerated. To, regardless of the crime that the inmate committed, they still have certain rights, to a bed, to a toilet, to food, to housing, etc. North Korea, as you can see, there's no such thing. So parole is one of the ways that America and our system kind of gives back to the offender. We're allowing them to basically get out of prison early before their sentence time has expired, and kind of serving their time at home, but with friends and family. And but there are stipulations that do follow this. There's no drugs, no violence, no gang activity. nothing of that nature can happen. And if it does happen, then there's going to be a warrant up for that person's arrest, and they'd have to go back, serve the remaining time, as well as time added on to the crime that they committed while they were on parole. North Korea, as you can see and probably imagine and assume,